Welcome back to Angel Lori. Today I want to discuss staying in the realm of dreams. The dream that I remember when my daughter was still an infant. She was, I don't know, probably still newborn, maybe 3 or 4 months old by that time. She was still in her crib in the bedroom with me, and I had a dream. And in this dream, it was very disturbing. It was so lifelike, as if it was lucid. I was in it. And I heard a knock at the door. We lived in an apartment with her father. We lived in an apartment in the Bronx, and the dream incorporated exactly how we were. Her as an infant, me as I was, the apartment as it was. And I heard a knock at the door. I had been sleeping, and she was in her crib in this dream. And I heard a knock at the door, and it was late at night, and her father wasn't there. And I was a little concerned, like, who's knocking on our door at this time of the middle of the night? And I went to the door. And, the Bronx doors have peepholes. And I slid up to the door, and I looked through the peephole to see who it was. And through the peephole, it was a Catholic priest, white collar and all. And it's like in this dream, I'm seeing my perspective, but then also an over perspective. So here's this Catholic priest at my door. And from the peephole, all I could see is just his face and the white collar and then the blackness of the robe he had on. And before I could say anything, I'm getting this overview, and he has on black robes, but there's also some type of like scarf thing with the robe, and it's got writing or hieroglyphics or something on it. Symbols. It's got symbols on it. And I'm looking at the first person, the me perspective, and all I see is this priest, and he's in a dire condition. It's like he needs to get inside, and I don't know him. And I'm like, Father, how can I help you? What's happening? And before he could actually like speak to me, I saw a hand grab him by the throat, and he got yanked from my perspective looking through the peephole. But the hand that grabbed him wasn't a human hand. It was a giant hand, and it was green, and it had scales and nails, and it grabbed him like that, and he got yanked like, and I was like, oh my God. And I could hear like gurgling sounds, like he must have gotten killed. And I'm thinking, oh my God, Jesse's in the bedroom. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Should I know I'm not opening this door, not at this point. And I was like, should I call the police? I don't know what to do. And then I looked through the peephole again to see if I could see anything. And then this giant reptile eye filled the peephole. It was this giant eye with a slit. And I screamed. I was like, oh, I screamed. I had never seen anything like that in my life. Not in reality, not in any other dream I ever had, not even in my furthest imaginations of even maybe dreaming of like a T-Rex or anything. Had I ever seen an eye like that? It was huge. And it had that slit. And it was looking right at me through the peephole. And at this time, I didn't have that overview perspective. I didn't have that overview perspective to see what it was. If it was like a T-Rex at the door, or a hybrid, or now what people call reptilians. I didn't even know anything about reptilians at that age. And this eye was staring at me. And I got out of its gaze and I flew back. I just ran back. And I ran to go get my daughter because I was like, listen, I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know if this thing's going to bust through this door because, apartment doors then, big steel doors. I don't know if it was going to bust through this door. I don't know what it was going to do. All I knew was that it killed a Catholic priest in front of my door. And then it looked in and looked through me. And I was like, oh my God. So I ran into the room to get Jessica, my daughter, out of the bed. And she wasn't there. She was gone. There was no way she should be missing. I hadn't opened the door. She's an infant. She can't walk on her own. So she's gone. And in this dream, I figure out that reptile must have taken her. That reptile took her. And then I go on this quest to try to find my daughter in this dream. I never found her. And I still can see that eye staring at me. Now, knowing the things that I know now that I didn't know then when I had that dream. Well, after that dream, once I woke up from that dream, I grabbed my Bible. I grabbed my Bible. I put it in the bed with me. I prayed. I asked every archangel to be there for my daughter, to be there with us, to protect us, because I took that dream as a warning, as a definitive warning. I was frightened of that eye. I still see that eye. That eye has haunted me for a long time. It doesn't frighten me anymore, because I know more things now, but I didn't know these things then. So of course it frightened me. And now looking back at that dream, it could have been an abduction of the both of us, or of her, since she was the one in that dream that was missing. And growing up, she loved reptiles. She's a reptile person. She has turtles now. And she's had dreams of amphibious beings. She even had a regression and she was an aquatic being in an aquatic world. So, I don't know. I don't know. That dream was, as you can see, I had that dream when I was about 21. Because I had her when I was 20, turning 21. So if she was only a few months old, I was 21. I had that dream when I was 21. I'm going to be 55 this year. So that dream has been with me for ages. And it doesn't frighten me now, but it frightened me for so many years. And I just always kept an eye on my daughter. I was like, maybe something wants her. Maybe something is after her. That I was evil. That I was evil. That's all I thought. That I was evil. That I was evil. It was something I never saw before. Something I was not used to seeing. So I always thought that I was evil. And then now, thinking with the things I know now, it's like, well, maybe it was a reptilian. Maybe it was not evil. Because now, the things that we know now, the Catholic Church is evil. The Catholic Church is reptilians, or whatever other species is over there. The Catholic Church is bad. The Catholic priests rape children. The Catholic priests get nuns pregnant, and then they kill the babies, and they sacrifice the babies. So maybe, just maybe, hear me out, that reptile being was protecting her from the Catholic priest who's at our door. And they took her to safety. I don't know. It could go either way. It could be that the being was evil and it killed the priest that came to warn us, to keep us safe, to take us to safety or something. And then it killed that, which would make it bad and the priest good. Or the priest was bad and it came to protect her and killed the priest and then took my daughter for her own protection. I don't know. But that dream has been with me for over 30 years. 30 years. Over 30 years I've had that dream with me. I would love someone to interpret that dream for me with a giant reptilian eye. Now I can call it a reptilian because now I can call it like I see it now. Before it was just a giant amphibious reptile eye. Now I can say it was a reptilian eye. And a Catholic priest. I mean, I don't dream about these things. I've never ever since then had a dream about a Catholic priest. I've never ever since then had a dream about a reptilian or a reptilian eye or a giant reptilian claw hand around somebody's throat. I don't think to this date I've ever had another dream about a murder. No. Usually in my dreams, I'm like multidimensionaling. I'm in other dimensions where I really feel is where my soul piece is, a shard of my soul, a fractal, is having an experience. Like 100% of my soul is not in this body. A certain percentage is in this body and a certain percentage is out there in the galaxies having experiences. And that's usually how my dream life goes. I'm usually fighting in wars, galactic wars, not like humanity wars, galactic wars. And when I'm with humanity, it's usually always some disaster, some faction of calamity going on. Usually some beings or entities or factions that are coming for humanity, and people are running and it's chaos and it's Gestapos, and it's just always that way in my dream life. So that's what I'm used to. And I'm always the rebel, and I'm always fighting, and I'm always on the side of good. I've never had a dream where I am the dual. I'm the one causing the harm. I'm usually the one trying to save people from the chaos or fight something that's causing the chaos, or binding something that's causing the chaos. Bind it. If I can't destroy it, I'm binding it. So that's usually my dream life. I remember this is back in high school, I did have a dream that I was a dream warrior, and I traveled between existences. Like we say, Like, I feel that the universes are stacked one on top of each other, and these interdimensional beings have figured out a way to get into another stack and back. And in this dream, that's exactly what I was doing. I was moving interdimensionally with a group. It wasn't just me. It was, I believe, 7 of us. It was 7 of us, females and males, and we were all like high school age, like 17 and under. I would say between 17 and 15 years old, the 7 of us. And we were light warriors, but we were dream warriors that fought with light weapons. Like, I won't say it was like Star Wars sabers, but we had swords. And I have an affinity for swords. And we went after pretty much like dream demons, like entities that were attacking people in their dream state, like kind of like a Freddy Krueger movie would be like now. Like, he's a dream demon. Remember that Freddy Krueger episode where I think either it was one of his the offspring of one of the people that he killed or something like that, or offspring of one of the people that I think killed him, that she was like a dream warrior. And he's a dream demon, so a dream warrior. It's kind of like in that kind of feel. And what we 7 did was we would go into dreams of other people, and we would destroy these demons that was trying to either take the energy from the person or trap the person's soul. And that's what we did. We were dream warriors. And I always felt that aspect of myself is really out there doing that. And now I've always felt that at some point in this existence in my life, in this incarnation, I would meet those other dream warriors in the flesh, in humanity. And then we would realize that we met as kids. And then knowing that we all have woken up and we all are tapping into our abilities, that this is what we would become. We would be dream warriors in reality. So I still am, telepathically, I've set the intention that this is going to happen, that these people will manifest in my life, and we will continue that work. I remember the first reading I got by Misha Johnson when I had woke up in 2020, and just all of these things was happening, like I said before in my previous recording. And the reading, well, what she did was, it was one of her groups. She still, to this day, God bless her, she still hosts groups, various groups for people who are awakening and finding high strangeness in their lives. So if you've got alien abductions, if you've got memories of being used in programs, maybe it could be My Lab, it could be MK Ultra, Super Soldier, alien abduction, all of that. She's got a group for that where you can go and contact her. Her name is Misha Johnson. She's on Facebook. You can contact her and let her know something that you're going through, and then she can tell you the time schedule for a particular group, and you can join in on the Zoom. She'll send you the link and the password, and you can go and talk. I actually need to get back into that. I fell out of it along my journey, and I need to go back. But for that first time that I went on to the Zoom link, and what she does is, I don't know if she still does it, but what she did at the time was, as you're having your first meeting and you're talking, you're sharing what you want to share, only as much as you want to. And I was talking, and she did, like, she pulled cards, tarot cards, her cards. Her cards are beautiful. She pulled her cards for you as you was talking, because she has gifts and abilities as well. And at the end, she'll send you a screenshot, and she'll tell you about the cards, and then she'll send you a screenshot of the cards. And as I was talking, then I found out from people in the Zoom meeting, they was like, "You're shining so bright. You're shining too bright. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta learn to protect your light." And I was like, "Light? This light? What are you talking about?" And then people explained to me, and I was like, "Oh, and then things started snapping together, making a lot of sense about how I'm out here and I'm just shining my light, and my light is so bright, and I'm attracting all of these things." Then it got me thinking, all the boyfriends I've ever had in my life, they was just energy drains. They were sucking my light. Each and every one of them was sucking my light. They was attracted to me because of the light that I had. And on some level, they didn't know what they were doing, but on some level they did. So they was taking this exchange wasn't an equal exchange. It was like, Lori will be my battery, I think the very last boyfriend that I had last year was exactly like that. Another light absorber, light drainer. But that I went into willingly. I wanted to once again save someone. I wanted to save them and be their light to save them. But that person didn't want to be saved. So you save what you can. Save who you can. And those that don't want to be saved, you gotta let them utilize their free will. They have a right to their free will, and you gotta let them. You gotta just, protect your light. Protect your own light, and do what you came here to do. So I learned that lesson. But all of that began with Misha Johnson and the cards. I think I'm going to put the spread that she did, I'm going to put it up here so that you can see. But it was really interesting. And it was my first time anybody ever officially did pull tarot cards for me. I remember back in high school, one of my best friends, Grant, at the time, his mom, I think she used to have readings, a tarot reader. And then one time I came over to his house to pick him up, and we used to go outside. And one of the readers, I think when I walked into the room, she stopped what she was talking about, and she looked at me and she said, "You are a traveler. You travel between dimensions. You travel between worlds." And I was like, "Okay, lady, you little cuckoo. Let me just grab my best friend and dip, because I'm right about you." I ain't listen to any of that. It was just like, and I bounced. So, but thinking back now, yeah, she was right. But then it's like, I read comic books. I collect comic books, but I ain't got time for you. So, yeah. But yeah, Misha's was the first time anybody like officially pulled cards on me. And it was like all there. It was like all there. Trying to remember the cards. I know one card said Starseed. One card said aspects of time travel. Another card said I had contact with Zeta Reticuli. I had contact with what was another race of beings that I never hear anybody talking about. I forgot. But yeah, I'll put the cards up here. I'll put the cards above. So I had contact with another race of beings. It said that I had an experience, which I think with the Zeta, it was an abduction. And no, I had contact with Zeta. I had contact with the Apollonians. Yeah. Apollonians. Never heard anybody talk about Apollonians. So I had contact with Apollonians, and then Zeta Reticuli. Then one card said I had a scary abduction experience. The other one said I had an experience. So I'm assuming one was scary, where you take me and you're doing shit to me against my will or whatever. And then another one was maybe my galactic family taking me and doing something benevolent for my being here. And I think another card. I forget. It was a lot of cards. She had pulled a lot of cards. Yeah, I'll just put the picture up. I'll try to enlarge it so you can actually like see the cards. But yeah, it was really interesting. And it was really kind of spot on, in my opinion. So yeah, look for Misha Johnson and get into one of her groups if you need help, if you need a forum to be able to speak about these things. Like me, I'm not afraid to speak about these things. I've been speaking about these things for a long time. I mean, I've had family members when I used to be active on my Facebook page. I'm really not active anymore on social media other than doing these talks on my channel. And I remember a few times a friend or a family member would inbox me and tell me, listen, I've had an experience. I've seen some things that I can't explain. And they had no one to talk to, and they talked to me. And I'll keep those secrets till I'm, long off this plane. But just the fact that they trusted me enough to just tell me that, yes, I'm experiencing something. This is a reality. This is happening. This is not something that is not happening. I don't understand it. And, I'm like, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Protect your light. But yeah, so I think this is going to be it for this episode. So right now we've completed all of the high school and the dealing with the parents and stepping into a whole new way of thinking. I think we're moving more so into my 30s. Yeah. The next talk we'll have, I'll be starting from my 30s. I think that's when ship sightings and more high strangeness. I gotta look back at my notes, but I think in my 30s was the strangest thing that happened. The scariest and the strangest. and I'll include pictures of what happened to me. And then speckled through that, through the 30s and the 40s, all kinds of strange shit. All kinds of strange shit. It's like things would take me, I guess, when I'm sleeping, and I wake up in the morning and I've got marks. I remember like scratches, like hearts. I've had giant hearts put on me. Like, I love hearts. I've always in some capacity wear a heart. I've had hearts put on my body, large and small. I even had a mark on my body that was an alien's face. It's just... And then the time when they did the surgery and the scars. Still got to go into more regression about that. I've had psychics talk to me about that. Several psychics talk to me about that. I need to be regressed because I need more information. Even though the information that the psychics gave me, several psychics, one world famous, they all corroborate the same story, the same imagery that they perceived. So I take that with a grain of salt, that there is corroboration. But I don't have any memories of exactly what happened to me. Just the after effect of what I had to deal with. But I don't have any like memories of like being taken out of my house or laying on any tables or none of that. It's like they like to keep me in perfect blankness to these things. Except when something happens outside of the ordinary in this reality. You know. Alright, so yeah. So that's more stuff that I will be talking about going forward. But for this episode, thank you for watching. And this is Angel Lori sending you many blessings. Protect your light. Send your love. Let's try to be good to each other. Good night.